Peace and blessing here, the Success Scholar, Honorable One. All right. Yes. So I wanted to do my little twist to this discussion. Of course, I always believe that one should attempt to get and gain facts, of course, and listen to various sources before one sort of pop off at the mouth about incidences that happen. So I'm very cautious to judge on many levels, but I think that there's enough evidence to conclude that something very inappropriate has gone on. With that being said, what they say the branches don't fall that far from the tree, or the root is not that far from the tree, or so. But I just wanted to know, for instance, is why some of these other individuals have not thus far ever said anything about Dr. York. I mean, and shout out to Chuck Morgan, Mukasa, and who else? Several other individuals who have done some research, and I actually, of course, obviously, I couldn't do that much. You don't get primary research; you have to be there. But I've gotten enough second-hand evidence to know that Dr. York, was both a pedophile of women as well as little boys. So, with that being said, we have to diagnose and look at and dissect how this culture, this new Nuwabian culture, has been allowed to continue to go on. And I say it's because individuals do not call them out. Individuals do not create awareness amongst children. Now, Umar, for instance, he talks about protecting children and educating the black children. But first and foremost is, if I may quote Dr. Patricia Newton, most young people, for instance, that go to shock traumas, or to the ERs, most of them have been sexually abused. So if we're talking about protecting, inner city, urban, at risk young people, for instance, we have to protect them from pedophiles, right? And there's a video, and I was just looking for it, and I cannot find it, but where Umar was on a video. Here, wait a minute. Here it is. Hold on, wait a minute. Well, Tariq actually talked about Dr. York too, but I see something. But there's a video that I saw where Umar said, "Shout out to Dr. York, come home soon." I'm just like, damn, this is damaging. So, for you all that's out here following Dr. Malachi Z. York, that still to this day, this should be an eye awakening for most of us, that it was ingrained into that culture that there's no legal age. So when you are part of that culture, you believe that there's no age consent. For women, they validate. And let me just speak for what I know. Not like, I don't want to say what they believe, but I can say that from some interaction I had with one of the members, they actually kept saying, well, in some scripture, the age there, when I believe, okay, they said when they reach puberty is the appropriate age. So if you got someone in the deep in the back of their mind, they think when a young girl reaches puberty that it's an acceptable age to, I guess, procreate or cohabitate or I mean, to be sexually fulfilled or whatever. Uh, that is going to come out, and you add alcohol to it. Uh, you know, I mean, and I'm just shocked that with all the knowledge that Polight has, why is he out drinking and partying? It was bound. Something stupid was bound to happen. Either that or getting, being around somebody that had a gun or somebody that got drugs, because when you are not whole and you trying to pretend like you're a rapper, and you won't come up to somebody that may set you up or, I mean, but you don't. And I'm not trying to say that family set them up, but like there's some little people out here that you know put themselves in. I ain't gonna say put themselves in position, but not to say the little girl was, but adult women, that for instance, have tried to get their little ways with black men who they think got money, and men in general. But this is a little different, of course. So I'm not trying to label, but I wanted to both speak to that as well. But suffice to say, one of the things I wanted to also mention, for instance, is that people continued, although they knew all these facts, that he first was with Dr. York and continued to hold Dr. York up for years, even before the Hidden Colors piece. Because I saw, some of the pieces of the Hidden Colors, so I'm just like, why are you having this promo? Obviously, if you promote Dr. York, your promo. Uh, why are you having him in your film? Like for real, like why is he? Why does he have value? See, so they are mixed in, and I wanted to say this. I mean, they called the news article referred to Polight as a motivational speaker, and I hear a lot of cool Negroes out here saying the conscious community, or I'm like, there's nothing, nobody, nowhere, people that are conscious that I know are nowhere thinking about no little girls. So you Negroes that are, have a lack of knowledge or whatever, if you want to put anyone into a conscious community, I know this one Negro, he said conscious community RBG and something. Just lumping people together. I mean, it's just like, but never, not all these people not in the same category. Everybody don't agree with everything. Everybody don't think the same. So, people just lump people in the category that they think are just, I guess, against the white man, or people that search for knowledge. I don't know where they get these little superficial areas of which to put people in. So, yeah, so I'm just curious as to how Dr. Umar Johnson has continually, or has not a one time, the biggest pedophile, hold on, the biggest pedophile in history, hold on, the biggest black pedophile, let me look up the story. Here it is, hold on. The largest pedophile case in history. He was charged with child molestation. He's serving 135 years. For those that may not know, Dr. York, he ran a little gang up in New York. I just came back from New York this weekend. I was at the Garvey Day event. Surprisingly, Umar spoke in Harlem. So I know some people are going to be quiet on this, and but we have to look at what actually did happen, what actually people were convicted of, and what there were enough witnesses for. And there definitely were enough people that testified against Dr. Malachi Z. York to say this is, sorry, that this is, he's guilty. And I give you this example. There's a one video out here with Dr. York, I'm sorry, with Polight sitting down with someone with, I can't recall the brother's name. He's out of New York too. But sitting down saying that, telling Polight that Dr. Malachi York molested him, right? And he still said, Polight still said, Dr. York is my God. Dr. York is my God. So I'm just like, damn, like really? I mean, like we have such low standards as a people that we will allow for a pedophile that got some knowledge, some perceived knowledge, to have that level of control of us where we still uplifting him 10, 20 years after he's in jail. Like we gotta bury the dead. We're gonna have to bury the dead. Some of these people just gonna have to be buried. And that's why I mean, even not to say anything about Garvey, but it's just like, how long are you gonna like keep holding people forever and ever and ever? Like, and not to compare, Garvey or York or anything, but I'm just like, when are you gonna hold your own, right? And do for self and build your own legacy. Stop trying to carry and hold on to the legacy of other people. So, with that being said, I mean, I don't have anything else to say. Well, one more thing. Some years ago, Polight came to Baltimore. I didn't go. I mean, it just, so we got to watch who these people that should have known better. They introducing these charlatans in the community. I see another video on here with a sister out of Baltimore who kind of has some YouTube stuff going on, but she's sort of, I bet she probably was at the Polight thing some years ago, but now she on there talking with Ankh, with brother Ankh out of the Amin Ra squad. He was in jail too, like Polight, and they talking about cults and cult followers, but you came when brother Polight was here, and this was just a few years ago. See, some of these people that you all are calling conscious, they knew, and young, they knew to this. So I don't expect for them to have some standards, right? So with that being said, I just want to say, who brought Polight to Baltimore? You all can do your research on that, and how much did they charge, and how many people did Polight scam there, and to the people that are still following behind the Nuwapians. If you do not know who the Nuwapians are, I just must warn you. And even though Dr. Umar Johnson may say, we want you free, Dr. York. No, we don't want that nigga free. We don't want that nigga free. And even if Tariq has Polight in hidden colors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, we need people that have good judgment. And I don't care how many documentaries you have and how many intellectual people we think that's in that film. It doesn't mean a damn thing if people are being mesmerized, and they are supporting and contributing to these cults that are encouraging pedophilia. So that's what I'm saying. It's a continuation of Dr. York's freakish culture. It's like, people who've been sexually abused, that's what they do. Hurt people. And, I feel blessed. I was never a part. I was a little bit more wiser to not fall for their, recruitment tactics. And all of the people that I knew that were in that, they were sexually dysfunctional. I knew some lesbians here in Baltimore that were a part of the York tribe, and other misfits. No, decent people. I read years ago how they got some young student from Hampton University. She quit college. She quit college to go and live on the land, and the family was so hurt. They went and I mean, I ain't trying to say anything about school or whatever, but I'm just saying to go and be around somebody that been in jail, right? A crew of ex offenders that probably done had all kind of butt sex in jail. Uh, you know, that's a problem. So we need to look at these people that have these felonies and have criminal backgrounds. People have gone to jail. No offense to anybody who have gone to jail, but you don't need to be out in front of people if you haven't, transformed and healed yourself. You don't need to be around children, right? You don't need to be around children, and you don't need to be in no films. And so Umar, please do not ever, 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 never, never, never in your life say you want Dr. York to be free. Uh, I don't know what's wrong with you. I have no idea, why you would say that. What kind of people you have around you that would allow for you to get away with that or think that that's okay. But somebody needs to say something about that. That's like a bigger problem. Even, I mean, like, Polight only allegedly molested one. Dr. York did over 100. So I'm just like, damn. If this is the outcry that folks have for Polight, we should be, or during that time it wasn't necessarily social media, but there should be massive riots for a freak, pervert, pedophile, Dr. York, right? So I don't care, it may hurt or feel you, but it's time to grow up. We gotta purge. We gotta purge, from our minds and our spirits these demons. And Dr. York got some nerve to call Doc Ben a demon. He got some nerve. But this is what these cult leaders do. So we got to shake these cult leaders up. If they don't have a decent moral compass, to know you can't just make money. Everything can't be about making money off the backs of black people, and you just want to let every so-called leader that you think is some kind of leader have their way in our community, that you can't even call them out. Umar, you can't even say anything about Dr. York ever in your career. Never has he said even like, never has he dissected the Dr. York case or do some tribunals or ask questions about what happened. What did Dr. York do? Like, dig into that. So I'm just curious. We got to watch these people, y'all. And to the adults out here, sisters, please watch, these men around your children. Yes, preachers too, imams. I don't give a damn. Like, and talk to your children. That's more important. To let them know what's appropriate, what is appropriate for people to be, how people should be interacting with them. People shouldn't be recommending alcohol or drugs to them. People shouldn't be touching them, and you should talk to them every day, every night. Like anybody say anything to you funny in a sexual nature, right? So that's what need to happen, and you can't have it both ways. You can't put people in your films that you know already how they feel about pedophiles, right? And people that promote Dr. York, they something ain't right with that picture. So I'm saying let's dig up the let's start exposing the underlying forces of everybody else. I'm not saying, that Umar totally agrees with, Dr. York or whatever, but he felt strongly enough to say, free Dr. York, free Dr. York in front of his little lost Negro followers. See, there's a bunch of lost Negroes out here in this so-called, if you want to call them conscious community, if you will. But I'm conscious as can be. I read books like relevant books for liberation. So I don't know if the coons out here think that somehow that every so-called conscious person have to fit into some strange model or whatever. But we gonna have to eliminate you too, coons and self haters. So, but so that's all I wanted to say, y'all. I'm out. I just wanted to drop that. Somebody had to do that. All right, I'm out. Gotta go get my cell phone fixed. Peace out.